I'm Leo London, welcome back to my channel. And if you hadn't seen episode 1, this is episode 2 of the Duel Series, where Dylan will pilot a deck inspired by Yusei and built around Stardust Dragon and apparently Quasar Dragon, who made a surprise appearance last time. And I will play Yugo, built around Clear Wing and Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, my favorite monsters, my favorite character, his favorite monsters, his favorite character, and since they're similar, we decided this would be a fun series. Each month, we're going to do one up until December, where that'll be the final, and then we will calculate the points to see who wins. So Dylan is up by 1 right now, and we are about to go into the first match of Game 2. And what kind of... Maybe I should ask you afterwards what kind of changes you made. Let's figure it out afterwards.
Alright, so I lose the die roll, and it's not looking good for me. He special summons Quick Draw Synchron, normal summons Junk Synchron to bring back his Doppel Warrior. And this is, I don't like where this is going. I'll tell you that right now. He links them away. He's searching the extra deck for Junk Synchron. Now again, I don't like where this is going, and luckily I have an answer. I have Psy-Frame Gear Gamma to negate and destroy his monster's effect, preventing him from spamming the board and being able to combo off and get to Quasar, which I was really trying to prevent. Because if he had his Necros stuff as well, I was in big trouble. I have no answer for all of that stuff. I had to shut it down early and shut it down fast. And out comes the 2 Psy-Frames. And I didn't know that I had to get rid of them at the end of the turn until I read the card. At the end of the turn, I should say. So yeah, he gets 2 tokens because of, I think, Doppel Warrior's effect. Just letting him cut. Yeah, Doppel Warrior's effect. He synchro summons using the Junk Synchron and the 2 tokens, which I believe are level 1, into a level 7 monster. I think this is called Nitro Warrior. Yeah, I asked him what it does, and he was very underwhelming in describing his effects, so I felt pretty safe. If I could put Crystal or Clear Wing Fast Dragon on the board, I thought I would be relatively okay, and maybe a Crystal Wing or Clear Wing Synchro Dragon on top of that as well. Yeah, just looking at what I have here. Yeah. Oh, yeah, waiting on Dylan to finish his turn. Once he passes turn to me, I get rid of the 2 monsters. I'm just reading them to make sure that's what I have to do. As they were new to the deck and new to me, because before they were quite pricey. And when Toon Chaos came out, I picked up a few packs and ended up with one. So, I activate Foolish Burial. Sending what I believe to be Terratop? No, Den Daigo Duke to the graveyard. I'm loading it up because I have Speedroid Double Yo-Yo in my hand, and Double Yo-Yo will special summon out the Den Daigo Duke, and I have an immediate level 7 Synchro. Normal summoning the Double Yo-Yo, as I said. Out comes the Den Daigo Duke. Then I special summon from my hand a brand new card, Speedroid Card Turbo. Then I special summon from my hand a familiar card in Teke Tomborg. Just deciding what I'm going to do with all these resources. I'm going to use Teke Tomborg's effect. Now, I was waiting for Dylan to hit me with a hand trap, but after he let the Teke Tomborg's effect go through, I assumed he didn't have one. Almost went for another Dead Daigo Duke, which I don't want to do. I'm actually should be getting the red-eye dice if I'm not mistaken. No, I settle on the Den Daigo Duke. I'm somewhat surprised by that, to be honest with you. I link away 2 Den Daigo Dukes to summon the Speedroid Rubber Band Shooter, a very powerful card. Now I show him a Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, and that allows me to search my deck for 2 monsters that equaled the level 7 Synchro that I showed him. In this case, it's the level 4 Horse Stilts, and I believe the level 3 Speedroid Terratop. Now he will pick one at random, and that card will be added to my hand. Now, regardless of what he picks, I don't care. One way or the other, I'm going to have combo here. I could have just went into a bunch of monsters and went beat down anyways, but yeah, I wanted to do even more just in case. I needed to go even further beyond for the following turns in case he has some sort of trick up his sleeve that I don't know about. So I use my second normal summon, which is granted to you by Speedroid Rubber Band Shooter, to normal summon the Terratop, which was added to my hand because of the Rubber Band Shooter's effect. Now I can search the deck and add another Speedroid to my hand, and I believe this is where I choose red-eye dice. Because I'm going to be able to synchro with it, and I would definitely think I should do it. Nope, I had double yo-yo. Perhaps I have the red-eye dice in my hand. Yeah, I'm honestly not sure what I'm doing at this point. If I don't have the red-eye dice in my hand, I'm somewhat concerned. So that's clearly for next turn. I then banish Den Daigo Duke from the graveyard to special summon. Yeah, the red-eye dice from my hand. Okay, I did have it. Now, I don't think I'm going to change anything's level. I have game here, and I'm going to set it up. I'm going to synchro summon into the Hi-Speedroid Chambara, and then synchro summon again using the card turbo and the double yo-yo into Clear Wing Fast Dragon, reduce my opponent's attack points to 0, then Chambara will attack for 3,200 damage, and then 3,400 damage, and then Clear Wing Fast Dragon will finish him off and deal the final 2,000 damage, well, less than 2,000 damage needed. Now, if you're wondering how he attacks for 3,000, well, the grave effect of card turbo is you can banish it and then one other Speedroid from the graveyard to give all your wind monsters an 800 attack point boost. So I put game on board, I think even without the the attack boost, but still. Chambara is a very effective in-archetype Borosword type monster, being able to attack twice. And with my opponent's life points reduced to 0, he just didn't stand much of a chance. Thanks to the hand trap I hit him with. And then game. Yeah, very successful game 1. Now game 2, he is off to a thunderous start as he uses tuning to search out Junk Synchron, if I remember correctly. Yes, and the card he had to excavate off the top and put to the graveyard was Jet Synchron. So that's pretty good to be put in the graveyard. Definitely a good thing for him.
The more I wish Block and Roll was as good as Card Turbo. No. Jet Synchron? Okay, well, that's something. That's pretty good, I would think. It can be.
Taking some time to look at his resources, and I believe up next will be a Pot of Desires. Now, the people who don't understand how good Potters of Desires is really blows my mind. It is not a Neg 9. It is a +1 straight up. Think of it this way. If you do not draw cards, you will never see those cards that you banish. You will never see them if you don't get that +1, because your opponent will likely beat you because they are smart enough to play Pot of Desires. Having checked through his banish pile, he then normal summons the Synchro Carrier, which I believe is how he can special summon the Junk Synchron.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna
And then
bring
his
back
effect will
Jet.
special summon from the graveyard the Jet Synchron, which was put there off of the cost of tuning, which was used earlier in the turn. He then
Junk Speeder? Yes.
Synchro summons
Speeder effect.
into the Junk Speeder, which is exactly what I was afraid of last game, only this time I have no way to stop it.
When he was getting
so
released,
he's
people
allowed
don't
to
think
just
it was gonna
combo
make
as he
Quasar
wishes.
viable or anything? People excited about it? People are like, man.
Now, immediately, he special summons out the Satellite Synchron and the Quick Draw Synchron, and I'm immediately starting to do math, trying to figure out what's about to Synchro Climb out of that extra deck and come after me, but I'm lucky, I believe, and the levels are a little bit difficult for him to work with. So I don't think he could get to Quasar at this point, so I felt a little bit safe in that knowledge. But yeah, he's having to really think through his plays here because the levels are just a bit odd for him due to something important being banished off the Pot of Desires. But it was still worth it to use because it's a +1. Don't try and argue with me. And he goes into Shooting Quasar Dragon. Now, Quasar Man Dylan here goes into Shooting Quasar Dragon, as I said. And I'm confused. I'm not sure what's happening. I think there's some sort of shenanigans coming or some kind of trick up his sleeve. I'm not really sure why he didn't Synchro Climb. Other than Shooting Quasar Dragon is also a tuner. I use Speed Lift after normal summoning the Den Daiko Duke, which is the last thing I want to do. I never want to rely on Speed Lift, and once I get the new Wind Searcher from Rise of the Duelist, I will be cutting Speed Lift immediately. But I summon out the Speedroid Horse Stilts to load my graveyard for next turn, and more importantly, Synchro Summon right now. Then I special from my hand the Speedroid Card Turbo. Then I link away the Horse Stilts and the Den Daiko Duke for the Hi-Speedroid. Never mind, as I'm immediately hit with an Effect Veiler. But unfortunately, it's not going to bother me too much as I activate Speed Recovery to special summon the Horse Stilts back to the field. I then Synchro Summon into Clear Wing Fast Dragon. I then check to see if I can do anything else. I could banish Den Daiko Duke and special summon out the card Turbo, but if there's no way for me to extend in my hand, then there's no point in me doing that. So I don't think I do. I think reduce Shooting Quasar Dragon's attack points to 0. And then I just attack into him for the 2500. And then destroy the Jet Synchron with the Rubber Band Shooter. Now in my hand, I know I have Shock Surprise, and I believe a Marble Machine. And my graveyard is loaded for next turn with a Den Daiko Duke, a Speed Recovery, and a Horse Stilts, all of which have effects that I can utilize to build a better hand and combo off. Out comes a second Pot of Desires, much to my shock and surprise, you might say. He banishes 10 more cards to get that +1. I smell desperation on him at this point, as I rightly should, as that is now half of his deck in the banish pile. And all he has left is the Quick Draw Synchron. So I think I'm pretty safe. I've got a negation on board. I feel I'm in control. And this was the exact opposite of last game, where I felt definitely not in control the entire time. He normal summons a Junk Synchron. The Junk Synchron, I hope that one's actually Junk Synchron. Guys, is that Junk Synchron? From the graveyard, he brings out the Synchron Carrier. Synchron Carrier's effect will activate, and he will be allowed to special summon from his hand the Doppel Warrior. Then out comes the Jet Synchron. Okay, he's loaded his board, and I am very worried. And he links. Oh no, he synchro summons into the Charge Warrior, or Nitro Warrior. Or I believe he was unable to get the Charge Warrior, which is the one he really wanted. Unfortunate. Just contemplating his next move here, checking the graveyard, bringing back the, what's he called? The cute guy. And then I believe he's going to link summon into, yeah, the Halki Fibrax. And I'm going to let the effect go, because I'm betting he has no targets. And that ends up proving correct, as he has no targets for Christian or Halki Fibrax effect to bring out a tuner.
I didn't think
so I am okay.
Anyway. So I just brought him out just in case.
And as you can see, he has the third Desires in his hands. It may be a great card, but just sometimes the luck can sting a little bit. Now he synchro summons again.
So I get my 2 tokens.
And then he will get 2 tokens from the Doppel Warrior. He will then pass.
See if I have any targets for him. I do not have any targets for him, so his level just stays at 5.
Okay.
Quickly explains to me what the Excel Synchron he synchro summoned does, and then he sets 1 before passing off to me, as I said. Just explaining what it does, and I'm just curious about monsters. And I draw. Now, I'm immediately going to start testing the waters here. I need to bait out something just in case there's a shock or surprise waiting for me. But I activate the Marble Machine, and the Marble Machine will add a Speedroid from the deck to my hand. I choose Card Turbo. Special summoning out that Card Turbo. Special summoning out, I take a Tomborg. I then activate Teke Tomborg. And I'm going to special summon Speedroid Red-Eye Dice. And level modulate my Marble Machine to level 4. I then synchro summon into Hagito. And from there, I'll put on Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, getting him on board. It's going to be huge. It's always huge for the deck. And I'm met with Solemn Judgment. So now, having already taken 2,500 damage, he sacrifices another half of his life points. He's down to less than 1/3. I banish the Horse Stilts from the graveyard to activate its Foolish Burial effect to send another Speedroid. I send a Speedroid Double Yo-Yo. I'm doing this because when I activate Speed Recovery's effect in graveyard, I can banish it and then return a Speedroid to my hand. Now, regardless of what I get off of the Hi-Speedroid Rubber Band Shooter's effect by revealing Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, I can look through the deck, find 2 monsters that match that level, and add one of them to my hand. So regardless of what gets added to my hand, I'm going to be able to put 2 monsters on board. Because I will either summon 2 with the Horse Stilts or summon 1 and then have it special summon another tuner from the graveyard. So one way or the other, I'm getting another synchro summon. At minimum, another synchro summon. Okay, he adds the Den Den Daiko Duke to my hand. I then activate my normal summon. I dramatically summon out the double yo-yo to special summon out the Charge Warrior. I then synchro summon into the Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. I then banish Den Daiko Duke from the graveyard. I'm pretty confident I've won the game at this point. I'm just kind of styling a little bit. To special summon out the Card Turbo. Once Card Turbo is on the field, I can special summon out the Hagato, and bam, Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Like he never used the destruction effect, or never activated Judgment. I got it anyway. So I would have had two, a Clear Wing and a Fast Dragon. Very happy to have all three on the board at the same time. This was something I've been wanting to accomplish for a while, and I did it in the series, which was very important. Soon to do it in one turn. I use Shock Surprise to destroy his 2 tokens. I attack with Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon for 3,000 damage, and I am somewhat shocked to realize that the match is over, because I had already done damage, and he had activated the Solemn Judgment. I completely forgot, and afterwards I kind of felt like a jerk for extending so much.
All right, so game 2 is in the books. I'm very proud to say that Clear Wing Synchro Dragon took it home. Actually, probably Clear Wing Fast Dragon, I would say, take it home, as he won both games pretty well for me. He performed really well. I doubled him up. I bumped him up to 2. He was at 1 last time. I think Card Turbo's release was huge in helping me push for damage and that extra special summon per turn. Like, essentially, I've got 2 Teke Tomborgs now, and that's pretty busted. So what kind of changes did you make?
None that you'll see in the video, because I didn't draw any of them. It was Junk Converter. So what he's supposed to do is he'll discard a tuner in hand. So you can discard himself in a tuner from hand, so you can pull like a Synchron. So you would do that. So you would bring Junk to your hand. You normal summon the Junk to bring back the Converter, and you get like a few more like specs off that or whatever. And it helps me synchro climb and combo off a lot more. Didn't see him, so that kind of sucked. Didn't pull him off Desires either. That kind of sucked. Opening 2 Desires, one of the games,
Yeah.
And then Synchro Chase was the other one that I unfortunately didn't see. And what it does is you cannot activate any cards or effects in response to any of my monsters with the name Warrior, Synchron, or Stardust in the name, whether a effect monster, synchro monster, link monster, whatever it is.
Yeah, when you told me about that, I was pretty floored and thought I was in really big trouble. Like I was gonna be
Might have been if I drew it.
pretty screwed.
I don't know.
But luckily I dodged that bullet like Neo in the Matrix. And yeah, Clear Wing Fast Drag was able to carry me through the games, and I ended up putting a Clear, a Fast, and a Crystal on board at the same time, which is pretty hype for me. I mean, it's what Speedroids do, but it's fun. It's fun in the competition to be able to do that.
Oh, but also, I don't want the whole me not drawing my cards to invalidate what you've done. Your deck was the more consistent one, and you deserve the win, buddy.
That's right. Consistently putting out level 7 synchros like nobody's business, like every other Speedroid deck in existence. But yeah, I'm looking forward to round 3. I already have some ideas and changes I'm going to make. For those that are wondering, why are we just not playing Dark Ruler or No More or Evenly Matched? If you haven't seen the first episode, we are intentionally not using those cards, not going to use Floodgates, because essentially the person that draws it first wins. And that's not the point here. The point is to see these decks actually play, and we get to see, hopefully, Stardusts and Quasars and Clear Wings and Fast Dragons and all these kinds of things. We want to play and see it play. So these kind of off-meta matchups, and I'm really looking forward to round 3 because right now, the series is all tied up.